Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. Here to talk about some hip hop. I'm not here talking about sports. I'm not here talking about none of that good old jazz that you usually hear me talk about on Sports Plus Life, which a new episode will be coming out tomorrow. Once I get off work, though, nigga got to go to work, got to pay his bills. But I've been thinking about this, for a couple days now. And to be honest with you, I didn't think that I would be doing this today, but when plans change, you have extra time on your hands, so it's all good. So I'm talking about 50 years of hip hop. We are celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and I think that is absolutely dope. And when I hear 50 years of hip hop, you know how that makes me feel? It makes me feel actually kind of young. It does. It makes me feel kind of young because when I look at hip hop, I'm like, wow, while it makes me feel kind of young, it's like you hear 50 years of hip hop, it's like hip hop really ain't been around that long. Now, if you one of these people, the younger generation, millennials, if you will, or 2000s babies, even 90s babies. Now, I'm an 80s baby, but um, even I'll say mid to late 90s babies, 2000s babies, they'll say, wow, hip hop, maybe hip hop is a little old, but not really when you think about it. When you think about all of these other genres of music like um, R&B, soul, country, heavy metal, jazz, classical, things that have been around for um, centuries almost, particularly jazz, classical, rock, R&B, all of that stuff has been around way longer than hip hop. And what makes to me hip hop being at 50 years of celebration, to me what makes that so special is because there was a point in time, I would probably say in the early 80s, when people didn't think hip hop would last. And why did people not think that hip hop would last? Is because hip hop was a black thing. Ooh, yeah, touched the nerve in this motherfucker when I said that. Hip hop was a black thing, with black artists doing something different, speaking in a way that made a lot of people in the country uncomfortable. That made, that wasn't initially was not available, well, particularly when we got to the gutter gutter. I'm not talking about Curtis Blow. I'm not talking about Cool in the Gang. I'm talking about when we got to the gutter gutter, when we got to MWA, LL Cool J, Cool Mo D, EPMD, Run DMC to a certain effect. When we had those stickers that said parental advisory, explicit lyrics. When it got to some songs that you couldn't play on the radio, but you knew in the streets, they was a classic. Not even just in the streets, quote unquote, but in the neighborhoods where it was a classic. So the real point of me making this video, of me making this YouTube live, was something simple. Is what's your top 5 rappers? Who is the top 5 rappers that you think are in your favorite category? And I wanted to do this actually kind of on Friday when I was sitting there talking with my neighbor. We was just listening to I have a YouTube playlist, DJ Brave, which is me, Brevon Towns, which is me, Sports Plus Life, which is me and my homies. But I have a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you look at it, Brevon Towns, it says East versus West, and that's what me and my homeboy was listening to. And I just asked a simple question: who's your top 5 favorite rappers? And he said his, I said mine, and I was like, damn. I'd like to maybe ask the YouTube world out there, who's your top 5 favorite rappers? Then I was like, damn, wait a minute. We talking about celebrating hip hop in its 50-year anniversary, and a hip hop museum, which is coming, which to me honestly is right on time, but still seems a little long overdue because I'm a hip hop head. Again, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up on hip hop. I grew up on and I will go over the waves of hip hop. If you listen to my podcast, Sports Plus Life, which some people do, most people don't, but I don't care because I do it for fun. I'll always do it for fun. I've talked about hip hop music and music in general because not only do I do podcasts, not only am I a sports guy. Before all of that stuff, I was a musician. I'm still a singer. I could sing right now, which would make people drip, 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 drip. But you know what? That's not what this is about. Um, I've mentioned the waves of hip hop and what waves I think are the most important waves in the history of hip hop. So the Hip Hop Museum to me is kind of overdue, but I'm glad that it's coming regardless. Now, I'll get all the bullshit out the way because we over 5 minutes in. As far as who my favorite top five rappers are, Pac and Big. Period. Number one, number two. Period. Now the next three I had to think about, and again, what I will say to this, and leave your comments on the comment box. If you would be gracious enough to tell me who you think your top five hip hop artists are, hit the like button if you will as well. One thing I will say is that nobody's list will be judged by me. As far as, and what I mean by that is, I don't care who you say your number one is, who you say your number five is. It doesn't matter to me because everybody has their opinion. Everybody has what makes them happy, what floats your boat. If you sit here and say to me that Kid and Play are your number one favorite rappers, I don't give a damn because it makes you happy. There is no judgment coming from me. What you will hear is just my opinion. If you if you listen to what I say or who I say my top five are, and you disagree, that's your opinion. I won't criticize you if you differ. But if you want to say foul comments about if you think, oh, your list is crazy, again, it's just my opinion, period. So I've already said my number one and number two. That ain't never going to change. Pac and Big, okay? The other three, in no order whatsoever. Nas, Eminem, Jadakiss. I'm talking about lyricists right here. Pac and Big. Boom, we'll slide them. I put them to the creme de la creme. I'm not talking about Mount Rushmore. I'm talking about beyond that. Okay, Pac and Big for me. Now the other three that fill out that list again, I'm talking lyrically. Nas, Eminem, Jadakiss, and it was hard for me to put Jadakiss on as number five, not because of lack of quality. No, absolutely not. But there were other rappers on there that I was like, wow, ooh, because to be honest with you, Nas to me, lyrically, is on another level. He's right there with Pac and Big. And Eminem, gosh, Eminem wasn't always on my top five. But when I look at his body of work and I listen to what he's talking about, can't keep that man off my top five. And Jadakiss, I ain't never heard a bar from Jada I ain't never liked, bro. I watched literally last night just because I was bored. I watched the verses between the Locks and Dipset when Jada had his Jordan flu game moment. Oh my God, when he had his Jordan flu game night, Kiss was on another level. I'm like, goodness gracious, this man was he's really dedicated to his craft. He really is. So that's my top five favorite rappers of all time. Now, let me get into what 50 years of hip hop means for me. Okay? Because again, we were at a point in time where we thought that, not we, but there was a point in time where people thought that hip hop was not going to work. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why people didn't think hip hop was going to work. Again, because it was a black thing. But one thing we have learned in this country, no matter how much you try to deny it, black don't crack in this motherfucker, baby. Okay? Black makes things better. Sorry if you don't want to believe it. Being a black man or a black person, a black woman, being black in general is the most swagger jack race in the history of the planet. Don't get it twisted. Nobody copies things more than people copying stuff from the American Negro. Okay? I'm just saying, don't get it twisted. If you're uncomfortable with me saying that, I'm sorry for you. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Being black is powerful. You know why? Because people love you, even if they really want to hate you. Being black is like a magnet. Black people are a magnet. Black people are a magnet for just wonderful things. You know, like I said, our whole genre, our whole aura is just simply copy and paste. Like if you look at a black person, if I'm just a black person standing right here, still on a computer picture, somebody else from another race will just look at copy and paste. If they could just look at my genre, my swag, or whatever, they would say copy and paste, because that's what we do. That's what we do. Now, when we talk about hip hop, I put it in waves. I've always put it in waves. Okay, I've always put the hip hop era in waves. And me, I've always said the second wave of hip hop was the most important to me. But one thing I cannot discount is that first wave of hip hop, in retrospect, should probably be judged as more important for one simple reason. The first wave of hip hop, that's the trendsetters. The first wave of hip hop is what, without the first wave of hip hop, there is no second wave, third wave, etc., etc. When you look at the Curtis Blows, when you look at Kool Moe Dee, Run DMC, LL Cool J, NWA, when you look at that wave of hip hop right there, while I don't think it's the most important, only for commercial reasons, it's the most important because it is the trendsetters. They are, while we like to talk about the Mount Rushmore, everybody likes the Swagger Jack LeBron James statement of Mount Rushmore of this and the Mount Rushmore of that. Fuck that. I'm going with the forefathers, because forefathers came before Mount Rushmore of anything, okay? Forefathers are the trendsetters. Forefathers are the founders of something. And when I talk about the first wave of hip hop, I'm talking about the forefathers of hip hop. Okay. I'm talking about that generation, the one that put the idea, that planted the seed in the minds of all the other waves of hip hop to let's continuously do this thing. I find this thing dope. I find this thing something that I could do. It ain't nothing but poetry in a swagadelish way. That's what the forefathers of hip hop, aka the first generation, did. And like I said, I just named a few of those from there. Like I said, your Curtis Blows, your Kool and the Gangs, your EPMDs, your Run DMCs, your LL Cool J's, your NWAs, your Kool Moe D's, this, that, and those guys, the forefathers of hip hop. Okay, but now to me, Wave 2, while Wave 2 to me is the most important, like I just said, for commercial reasons, because with the forefathers of hip hop, there was still a lot of doubt. Like I said, people saying, well, if this won't last, we'll see how long this lasts. Again, because it was a black thing. And when black people do something that people can relate to, even back in the 80s, it was seen as threatening to the powers that be. It just is what it is. But we couldn't deny it once the second wave of hip hop came, because with the second wave of hip hop, that's when businesses, multi-billion-dollar businesses, started saying the people out here are actually fucking with this shit. The people out here actually love this shit. And with the second wave came a Tupac, came a Biggie, came a Snoop Dogg, came Ice. And the thing about the beauty of the first wave, when the second wave hit, the people in the first wave were still in their prime. All those people that I named, NWA, Ice Cube, they were still in their prime. LL was still in his prime. But now we add a Pop, a Big, a Snoop, Jay-Z, Nas. I even, goddamn it, say MC Hammer, because MC Hammer was comfortable hip-hop. You get what I'm saying? MC Hammer was that comfortable hip-hop. Hey, he sings and he dances like he's Michael Jackson. He's not singing, he's spitting rhymes, but they're non-threatening rhymes. But you know what? He was part of that second wave too, because Hammer was commercial. And while Hammer was a comfortable commercial, fast forward about 7-8 years later, the uncomfortable commercial became acceptable, because again, these multi-billion-dollar corporations were saying, oh my goodness, the people out here are actually fucking with it. And not just people that look like me, people who look the complete opposite of me. Not only were fucking with it, they were trying to do it. Okay? They were trying, because once again, black is the most swagger jack race on planet Earth. Do you feel what I'm saying? Okay? So second wave of hip hop, what did I say? Pop, Big, Nas, Jay. Oh, that's just to name a few. That's just to name a few. The second wave of hip hop brought hip hop in the commercial stream. You know why? Because it wasn't just a New York and California thing. Oh, we got the Dirty South involved because we had people paying attention to Outkast. We had people paying attention to Trick Daddy. We had people paying attention to Uncle Luke, all the way down to Louisiana with Master P. Goodness gracious, are you talking about the year 1998 when No Limit was the king of the hip hop game? That wasn't from New York. That wasn't from Cali. That was from New Orleans, Louisiana. They were dominant in hip hop in 1998. One of the great years in music, period, was dominated by Master P and the No Limit Soldiers. So we had the hip hop world paying attention to the Dirty South, and it moved to St. Louis, Missouri with Nelly and the St. Lunatics. And Atlanta was just popping people out left and right. I already said Outkast, but then here comes Ludacris. Here comes Killer Mike. I mean, here comes Lil Jon. What did Lil Jon not take over the Dirty South hip-hop world for about a good 5-6 year stretch? Oh, my goodness. Are you serious? And then with the North, I mean, we had Dipset, Cam'ron. You know, we had Ja Rule, DMX. I mean, are you joking? Bad Boy was on top of the game when it came to North to New York hip-hop. It's just crazy. That's why I say the second wave of hip-hop, all of that is in the second wave. That's why, to me, the second wave was the most important, because now we started getting global influence, not just street influence, not just one specific community influence, or one specific community influence that was not ashamed to talk about it, while another community influence was just kind of sneaking and listening to it while pops and moms was at the country club. No, we started talking about second wave of hip hop. Oh, not only are the people influenced, companies are influenced. Oh, we're starting to hear rap on video games, commercials, more movies. Ooh, that second generation of hip hop changed the game forever. You know what I'm saying? Now we get to the third generation of hip hop, and we talking about, I don't want to say the mumble rappers or anything like that, but, you know, we start talking about Lean with it, Rock with it, Young Jock is going down, things of that nature, which just contributes to this brand of hip hop. Now, like I said, hip hop is a global thing. What started as a black thing is now a Latino thing, an Asian thing, a European thing, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. So again, I gave you my top 5 favorite rappers. Now I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite rap groups. And this was even a little bit harder for me. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, this is in no type of order. Trust and believe. Favorite rap groups is in no type of order. Outkast, for obvious reasons, okay? Method Man and Redman. Now, when I told this to my homeboy, he was like, "Can you really see Method Man and Redman as a group?" I said, "Fuck yeah." It's like, but even listen to the name, Method Man and Redman. You know, I said, "Well, Outkast, well, that Outkast has a group name." And then I said, "Okay, 8 Ball and MJG." He said, "Damn, same type of name." Yeah. So and just to say, 8 Ball and MJG is part of that list as well. So I got Outkast, Method Man, Redman, 8 Ball, and MJG. Who else did I have? The Locks. Clearly, the Locks, okay? And out of respect, West Side Connection, because one thing I've listen, when I first got into really fucking with hip-hop, even though I'm from Richmond, Virginia, I love West Coast. I love West Coast rap. I did. I love West Coast rap before I loved New York rap. I did. And like I said, I'm in Richmond, VA, but I fucked with the West Side hard when I was young, when I was a little kid, when I was a teenager. The first ever rap album that I hid from my parents was The Chronic. Why? Because I was 8 and I wasn't supposed to be listening to that. I wasn't supposed to be listening to Doggy Style. But then I looked at my mom's tapes, cassette tapes, and I saw Big Daddy Kane. Then I popped that into my little Walkman. Anything goes when it comes to hoes, cause pimping ain't easy. Oh, Mom, you went on this shit. You know about this. Really? But yes, I love West Coast, so I got to give West Side Connection. They just do. And again, it's really hard. It's really hard because Hip hop is so great. Hip hop is so wonderful. And again, just let me know what your favorite group is. Let me know what your favorite individual rapper is. And before I leave out of here, need I forget the females of hip hop, the queens of hip hop. Okay. Oh my goodness. I will go all the way to MC Light, to Yo Yo, to Queen Latifah, to Lil Kim, to the Brat, Missy, Left Eye. Are you joking? Ladies Night. Are you joking? Lady of Rage. She from Virginia. So is Missy. To all the way to Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Light Skin Keisha, Lotto, Saweetie, Doja Cat. Please. Because over these last about 3 or 4 years, these ladies ain't playing no motherfucking game out here. No. Don't think that I was trying to be biased or misogynistic at all, but if you watch this video start to finish, you'll be like, he ain't mentioned no chicks. Oh, trust and believe. Listen to my mixtapes that I be putting out there. I mean, listening to my playlist. I don't say mixtapes, but listen to my playlist that I put on my YouTube page. DJ Brevon. Man, it's full of them fire spitting females who are killing the game right now. Okay, so please don't think that I'm on that type of level, because I love it. I love these chicks out here doing they thug thizzle for show, representing for hip hop. They belong in the hip hop museum just as much as anybody. You know how much I motherfucking love Cardi B and Nicki, and how much back in the day I love me some Lil Kim and the Queen? Are you joking? What? Lady of Rage? That was the first female rapper CD I bought. Was Lady of Rage. I'm being dead ass serious. Man, please. Anyway, it's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. I'm out here. Sports Plus Life. Tomorrow,